Good. Okay, we should be recording. And I'm going to go ahead and get started right away. So thank you, each and every one, for showing up. Okay. I want to go ahead and open my screen up to, I had it all set up. Come on. This is frustrating. I had it all set up to where I wanted it to go. And now I can't go there. I wonder why. Well, maybe if I go here, it'll help me. For some reason, it's not allowing me to minimize the screen like I do every single week. And I don't know why that's happening. That's what I want to do. Yes, minimize. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is where I wanted to go. So here we go. I wanted to just shout out that this week is the last call to pre-register. Pre-registration ends this Friday for the Costa Rica vacation, the sales contest for Costa Rica, where you make a very small amount of sales. 1, 2, or 3 little sales could probably get you to Costa Rica. It's only 100 points is what you need, and most people start off with 25 points. So it's really not a whole lot of points to get it. If you want to see the official rules, you just have to click here. If you have not clicked here yet, you are not pre-registered and will miss out. This is the first time I've actually sent out this landing page. We've had a difficult time trying to gather people because of some technical difficulties that took place. So we flushed everything because it was completely inaccurate, and we're starting over again fresh. So if you believe that you can make 1 or 2 sales, then that's probably why you're here. And if you're here and you think you can make 1 or 2 sales, you need to find the link and click here and get yourself pre-registered. If you're not pre-registered, if you've not already clicked this link, no other link, this link, if you haven't clicked this link, you are not pre-registered. So that's all I'm going to say about that. This is the last call. You won't be hearing me talking about the Costa Rica vacation anymore. All right. Except that when we come back from it, then you'll hear about us. Okay. And let's go ahead to, I'm going to kind of move along a little quickly. I'm going to start right from there. And I started way too high up on the screen.
Hi, Frank. Your screen is not showing.
Oh, thank you for telling me that. Oh, man. Oh, man. I am just having all kinds of technical difficulties today. I'm not usually this bad. Okay, let's go to here. Let's go to here. Maybe that's why it wouldn't let me out. Okay. Share screen. Okay. You probably want to shut your camera off because the whole world can see you. All right, so let's try one more time. Can we see the screen now? Anybody
Yes.
shout out? Okay, so you can see my screen. So the last call to pre-register, I talked about that. If you haven't clicked here at this link, then you are not pre-registered. So if you want to pre-register, you got to click at this here link right here. All right, now let's go jump over to the presentation of the benefits Okay, we're going to start with this one right here. All right. I just need to tell everyone that we have been gathering agents like crazy. We've got a lot of new agents coming on every single day. We're putting on new agents. You want to shut off your monitor. Your camera is looking at you chewing your nails. So you probably want to shut off your monitor. All right, the whole world is looking at you. Be careful what you do. Everyone sees you. Shut off your monitor, shut off your computer, shut off your camera. All right, everyone will look at you chewing your nails and spitting your nails out as you chew them. Keep spitting them out. Just don't pick your nose. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get moving. Obviously, he's not paying attention to me. JOAQU. JOAQU. Good idea to shut off your camera. We all see you. All right. Don't ever want to be looking at him. Let's look at the screen. All right. So benefits to step up to a pro. Thank you. Benefits to step up to a pro. I want to let's just say that we have 650 agents over the last 2 months. We put on an additional 350 agents. Agents are coming on board like crazy. The reason is the real estate market is completely on fire. There are way too many agents for the underwriters. There are way too many agents for the pro agents. We need more pro agents. So if you come on as a pro agent, if you step up to become a pro agent, rather than you going out and building a team underneath you of agents under you, we will build a team for you. We've got 650 agents that we need to distribute. We'll be giving them out 10 at a time to anyone who steps up to actually become a pro agent. If you step up to be an underwriter, you'll also get a bunch of agents and clients. We're going to be giving out agents and clients. We have 650 agents. We have 300 clients that we have to distribute amongst the team. So I'm putting out a passionate plea for everyone to step up to a pro agent. Go into your agent portal, go down to manage my account, put in the code 2017, and it'll explain what it takes to step up to a pro agent. And I'm going to explain a little bit of the benefits right now. So if you step up to a pro agent, you're going to get 50% more commission. You're going to get a 50% override on your agents. The standard agents, if a standard agent's commission was $1,000, and you did the very same sale that the standard agent did, everything is identical, your commission would be $1,500 for that very same, Willie, shut off your camera. For the very same sale, you would get $1,500 for the same sale that a standard agent got $1,000. If the standard agent got $1,000 commission, your override would be $500. You didn't do a single thing, and you'll get $500 override on everyone that you bring into the business that does a sale. This is not MLM, not multi-level marketing. It only goes down one level. There's not multiple levels, just one level. So if your standard agent's commission was $1,000 a week, and I gave you 10 agents, you can get as many as you want. If I gave you 10 agents and they all did $1,000 a week, that would be $10,000 a week. Your pro agent override, 50% override, would be $5,000 a week. All you have to do is promote, promote, promote. All right, I'm not going to get into any more of that. What I want to do now is I want to get into the I want to get into the 100% CLTV. Where are you? Should be right here. And there it is right there. Okay. Man, Willie, you're killing me. All right. So let's talk about the 100% CLTV. There seems to be a ton of confusion on this program, and it is such a simple program. First things first, you should order this application. And when you order this application, if you would like to promote this program, you could put your information right here in the page. We also have someone who will do it for you. He'll print your information right here on the page so that the people can contact you. If you're going to RIA groups, real estate agencies, board of realtor meetings, if you're going anywhere where there are real estate investors, it would be great to have this product. It is a 100% combined loan to value funding program, the one that Larry and I were talking about a few minutes ago. This program is so simple to follow, and I'm going to break it down really, really simple. The requirements for this 100% combined loan to value program is we have funding from $100,000 up to $5 million and more if necessary, but let's just stick with the standard. The $100,000 lowered it to the point where we can get into a single family residence or all the way up to a multifamily residence or a commercial building. So any property type is considered. Any property type, all property types are considered. It is an interest-only loan. You pay only on the interest of the loan. It is an acquisition loan, meaning it allows you to buy the property, acquire it quickly. Within 7 days of signing the LOI, you can own that property. Fast 3 weeks closings means the appraisal might take 2 weeks, and then the closing takes 1 more week after that. No use of funds restrictions, no money down necessary, no credit requirements, meaning it doesn't matter what your credit score is. If you got a 300 or an 800 FICO, it doesn't matter. No income verifications. We're not going to call your boss and find out how long you've been working there and if he plans on canning you. No tax returns. We're not going to bother the IRS. No bank qualifications. We're not going to call you banker. Stated income, okay. If you want to tell me you make $1 million a year, that's okay. If you've had a bankruptcy in the past, that's okay. And we can use this for foreclosure bailouts. What this means, this last statement means, if there is a piece of property and it's getting ready to go into foreclosure, and there's a tremendous amount of equity in the property, those are the kinds of properties banks love to foreclose on because they might owe 25% of their original value. That means they've got 75% of the equity in the property. Banks love to foreclose on that because they steal the property for next to nothing. If you know of anybody in those kind of situations where they've got a lot of equity and the bank's going to foreclose on them, we can step in and bail them out and then lease it back to the same person who owned it or lived in it. And we can prevent that foreclosure from happening and allow them to get on equal footing, solid footing again. All right, I'm trying to run quick because I only have a little bit and I want to open up for Q&A. The out-of-pocket expenses on this program, this is a misprint. There are no application fees. When we send in the LOI, and an LOI is stronger than a proof of funds letter. Some people insist on a proof of funds letter. I call those spoof of funds letter. This is stronger. An LOI is stronger than a spoof of funds letter, because this is what we're actually going to do. We're actually going to borrow. We're actually going to buy the property. So if it were $1 million property, or if it was a single family, you would pay $450 or $995 when you sign the LOI and return it to us. It's not an application fee. It is actually to buy the title insurance package, and that is credited back to the sale, so it's actually coming out of the sale itself. This $995 or $450 residential or commercial fee is coming out of the sale. It's being put back into at closing. So I hope I didn't confuse anyone. When you get an LOI and you say, this is fantastic, I'm going to own this building in 7 days, you either put a check or a wire for $450 or $995. The LOI will tell you how much. You submit that with the signed LOI, and 7 days later, we're going to go to closing. The only out-of-pocket expense would be this $995 if it was a commercial building. An appraisal. We'll order an appraisal. We'll get you a quote. We'll tell you what the appraisal is going to cost. Either you or the seller, doesn't matter, you or the seller can pay for the appraisal, but the appraisal does have to be paid for before we go to closing. And then, of course, the title. We also use a national title company, and this title can be paid by you or the seller. So that means this $995 could be put up by you or the seller. Doesn't matter, either one. So these are the only fees. There is one last fee, and that is the legal documentation. The legal documentation is $2,000, and that's like 1 or 2 days before we go to closing. We'll need a check for $2,000 made out to our attorneys, who will write up the documents and send it to the closing attorney. Now, I'm going to real quickly, I've wasted a lot of time, so I'm going to real quickly go over this. This, if you look in your back office, in your agent portal, you'll see that this is actually the CRE application that's in there. You can use this CRE application to gather the information on the project so that we can understand what's going on. It is a no-doc loan. However, there's plenty of room for documentation here. So if you want to document it, if you want to give more information to make your deal look more appealing, you can put in the full documentation or partial documentation. This application is the same application as the CRE, Commercial Real Estate, in our agent portal. So if you would like to fill out all of the information, you certainly can, but you're not required to. If you do fill out all the information, we might go a little higher than 50%. So Larry, would you unmute yourself and shout out your name and tell us a little bit about the deal that you pulled together, kind of, sort of?
Okay, I'm unmuted. It's a hotel deal. The person wanting to buy it has been negotiating with the owner. The present owner had just run it into the grounds, but it has a tremendous potential for income. So the prospective buyer offered, made offers, counter offers, went back and forth. And the last I heard, it was looking like the owner was going to take a 75% holdback and be in second position, which is almost unheard of. So that's the last I've touched base with it. I don't know where it's at right now. It may go through, it may not, but it's a pretty good deal.
Okay, so let's go over that. So let's say the building was $1 million, and the owner says, look, I'll take $250,000 down, and I'll carry back $75,000, and it's a done deal. That's what Larry's talking about, and it's not uncommon. They are all over the place. Every city and state has properties that are either run down, distressed properties, owned by maybe the owners passed away and the heirs don't want the property. Maybe the children have moved out of state and they're not even in the same state as the property anymore. So there's lots of reasons why there are buildings that are sitting on the market for 1, 2, 3 years sometime with no activity on them. If you are creative and if you go to the realtors and if you look at realtor.com and look for the DOM, become a DOM hunter, days on market, become a DOM hunter. If you do that and you find properties that have been on the market for a long time and you have a buyer for those kind of properties, you have the ability to fund that buyer because like Larry was saying, the person in his particular case allowed the property to get run down. Now, if we only have to come up with 25%, we're going to do that quickly. We did a goat farm, and we don't do goat farms, but we did a goat farm because it was a 17% LTV. The loan to value was 17% of the value. So yeah, we did a goat farm, and we'll do any kind of a deal that makes sense. The lower the LTV, the faster we're going to close on it. And now here's where the confusion comes in. If you had $1 million building and it appraises for $1 million and you want to use 100% CLTV, we will put up $500,000 and the seller will carry back $500,000 in a second lien position. We are always going to be in first lien. We're never going to be in second lien. Don't bother to ask. We're not going to do it. We're in a first lien position for $500,000. The seller takes a second lien position for $500,000. You now have 100% financing, and you have no documentation, no funds restriction, no money down, no credit requirements, no income verification, no tax returns, no bank qualifications, and you can use stated income, and you could have had a bankruptcy last week. We don't care. You could have just got out of jail. We had another one where the guy just got out of jail, and we funded a deal like this. It is real possible. There are a lot of the deals available. Now, if you happen to be a great negotiator and you negotiate the price down to $500,000, remember, our original building appraised for $1 million, but you're a good negotiator and you negotiated the price down to $500,000. And then you come to us. Larry, tell me, how much money will we give on that $500,000?
500,000.
250,000.
Well,
It will. Let me state it clearly. It will be 50% of the appraised value or 50% of the selling price, whichever is less. It doesn't say that anywhere here, but we need to put that in gigantic bold writing. It's 50% of the appraised value or 50% of the selling price, whichever is less. So if you're a super negotiator and you negotiate it down to 500,000 and you submit the offer, we're going to fund it for 250,000, and now the seller can take back 250,000 if he will. And if he won't, then the deal's not going to fly. There's where the confusion keeps coming in.
Frank, can I interrupt here?
Go right ahead.
From the person making the deal to negotiate down to 500,000 and then try to have to negotiate for the owner to take back another 250,000, if he left it at $1 million and did a side note with the owner, we would loan $500,000.
You got it. Amen. Ding, 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 ding. You win. You win. That's the deal. So it would be foolish for you to be the world's greatest negotiator and negotiate it down to half price, because you're not going to get the deal. The deal's not going to fly. And there's the problem. There's the confusion. If you just left the price alone and you just wrote up the deal for $1 million, you win. Everything is fine. There you go.
Again, Frank, the deal I'm talking about, the person trying to buy it was trying to get it. The hotel was appraised at $1.7 million. The owner said he would sell it for, I think, $1.2 million, but it needed $500,000 to upgrade it to bring it up to $2.5 million property. And so part of the negotiation was trying to get a higher amount and have the owner give the, however you want to say it, a reconstruction back door. I don't know quite how a lawyer would word it.
Yes.
So you money in the back door to fix up the property.
Yes, the answer is yes. So let me super simplify that. The owner now it was 1.7 million. So let's call that 500 and 350 is 850,000. So 50% of that money would have been 850,000. So if we gave the seller 850,000 cash, that's 50% of the 1.7 million. If we did that, then the seller would have $850,000 in his hot little hand that he could then lend to the buyer to do the repairs. There you go. So after the fact, after the closing, the seller can take the money that we've given him and spend it any way he wants to. And if he wants to give you $100,000 or $200,000 to fix up the property, he can do that if he wants to. In your particular case, if he gives him $500,000, well, that's a lot of money. But if he wants to do it, he certainly could. We're about out of time.
Frank, I have a question. This is Eloise.
Okay, I've got.
So does real quick, does that have to be stipulated in the contract, or does it even have to be mentioned in the contract?
Doesn't even have to be mentioned in the contract.
Is it best not to be mentioned?
You know, I don't know the answer to that, and I don't want to try to guess at it. But if I were going to guess at it, I would say if it looks like you're not really paying what you're planning on paying, if it looks that way, they may not go along with it. But when we say 50%, it doesn't necessarily mean 50%. It could be less than that. It could be 40%, and the seller carries back 60%. I really don't know the answer. I'd have to really ask to get the detail on it. But
yeah, and I was just going by what you were just explaining to this gentleman.
Yeah, well, I know that's how they said that's how they presented to us. So I would say the answer is yes. It will probably work, and yes, it probably could be written out, but I don't think it has to be written out.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. And I know Eloise is working on a fantastic deal as well. We've got a few seconds left. You want to tell us anything about your deal, Eloise?
Sure. I'm working with a gentleman in Louisiana that is in the process of purchasing a nursing home, which he is going to house with the state of Louisiana patients that they do not currently have room for per se in the hospital. So this would be a place where they could place their patients.
How much is the building appraised for?
The building appraises for $4.5 million.
How much are we going to give them?
and we're only going to give him 2 million
And
or
the
more
owner,
if they so choose.
is
But
gonna hold back how much?
I'm sorry.
And the owner will hold back a second for how much?
The owner will hold back a second for 2.5.
So the deals actually exist all over the country. Where is this deal located?
In Louisiana.
So there you go. There's two on this one phone call, and we've gotten so many of these deals. All right, someone's talking. Shout out your name and ask your question.
David.
Thank you, Eloise.
Yes.
Okay, David, did you have a question? Okay. All right, well, if anyone else has a question, just shout out your name, ask the question real quick. We only have a few seconds left.
Hey, Frank, Randy at Property Partners. Just to double check, is that 50-50 the formula for all price points, or is it just at those higher price points?
Wow, you need to reframe that question. I don't understand you.
Okay, where it's, half, you fund half and seller carries half. Is that at all price levels, or is that just like toward $1 million and up?
No, that's just this one particular program and at any price. So if it was $100,000, if it was $100,000 to $5 million or whatever, it's, and the 50-50 rule isn't absolute. It could be, we put up 40%, they put up carry back 60. The goat farm, we put up 17%, they carried back 83%. The one that Eloise just talked about, we put up 2 million, they're carrying back 2.5 million. It's any point, but the 50-50 isn't exact. It's 50% or less, and the seller can carry back 50% or more.
Okay, great. Thanks for clarifying that. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right, thank you for the question. Any other questions before we say goodbye? All right. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up for lunch with the leaders. What I do is I put this up on YouTube. So if you want to listen to it again, you could go to youtube.com, then look for or search for Frank Aleo. That's A-L-E-O. And there you will find week after week after week of programs that we've had. This is but one of the exclusive programs that we're offering. And also, if you haven't signed up for the pre-registration for the Costa Rica sales contest, this is your last week, and there's only one place to sign it up for it, and that's in the link that we sent out for this invitation today. So that's the only place you can sign up for it. That's the last place. If you'd like to find out the rules and regulations, they are on the second page of the landing page when you sign up, pre-register for it. All right. Thank you. God bless, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Okay.